This is the Auburn Planning Board, the 11th of February, and it is now 7:06, and we're calling the meeting to order. The meeting is being recorded for transmission, and it's going to be recorded for retransmission later on. Is there anybody in the audience recording the meeting tonight? Okay, if not, let's all stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Are there any A&Rs this evening?
There are not.
A&Rs, okay. So, all right, so we can't do we can do the hearing on the,
You,
we can't vote on it.
correct.
Yeah.
Because it's a special permit, the special permit
You need-
requires
4 votes.
4 affirmative votes in order for the motion to pass. You don't have 4 members in attendance. The applicant can do several things. They could ask to continue with the understanding that hopefully we would have 4 members at our next meeting. It's unusual that we don't have a minimum of 4. They could present their case with the understanding that there's a number of residents in attendance, hear public comment, hear board comment, continue. One of the members that's not in attendance could view the record of the meeting, sign a Mullen affidavit saying that they've viewed this, they understand it, they can then participate in the next hearing. Those are really the 2 options.
So the 2 options is to present to everybody
Yeah.
that's here.
Correct.
And then wait for,
You would have to wait till the next meeting for a vote, because if they vote tonight, there's no way that they can give you the special permit, because the 4th member
Is not here.
is not
is
here.
required to give an affirmative vote. You need 4 affirmative votes of 5 in order to be granted the special
Yeah,
permit.
what we can do is we can go through our minutes, we can approve our minutes, we can, we have another thing before us at this time, we can vote on that from Whitetail Run, and we can see if the 4th person comes within the next 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and then bring your thing up, and if we still don't have 4 votes, then you can ask for a postponement to the next meeting, or, as I said, he said you can, she can look it on rerun. If she doesn't do that, then she can't vote.
Okay.
Want to do that?
Well, and all the abutters are here. It seems like they would probably like to see the project, do a presentation. I think we could do that. And it's a 5-member board, so would there be 2 people viewing that meeting?
No.
Just
Well-
One person is
There
missing.
could be.
There could be, there's one member who won't be back with the board until the 11th of March. So if you wished to continue to that point, you'd have the opportunity to have the 5-member board vote if the 2 absent members chose to view the record and sign the affidavit.
I'd rather present today.
That's fine, got a client.
That's,
So, present it and then continue it?
that's the only, well,
Why
that's the
don't
only thing
we-
you can
why don't
do.
we see if they're willing to- let's do the other stuff first.
Yeah.
Just to
Why don't
give-
we do
so
the
that
other
in
things
case she
first
does
and see
come.
Okay.
if Wendy comes, all right?
Okay.
That one, all right,
That sounds sensible.
yeah. All right, so second thing on the agenda is the lot release request for Whitetail Run Estates. Paul?
Hello, everyone. Paul Jem from Whitetail Run. Back when we were originally subdividing the land, we were going to go with a normal subdivision. I was going to include Lot 8 on
Your house.
with my house and sell it in the hopes that we could further subdivide the property and probably build a house for a close family member. However, in going to the cluster development, the bylaws state that you can no longer further subdivide your property. Even if you had a hammerhead lot, whereas in a normal subdivision, you could cut out a hammerhead lot. So because we went cluster and I had to cut it up right out of the gate, that's basically Lot 8 is my backyard. So I'm asking the planning board to release Lot 8 and that's the original layout, that doesn't show the
Can you
subdivision.
point it out on the?
Well, this is the house. And then, as you see, if you're looking at the plan in front of you, Ronnie, you can see his house is right in front of Paul.
Easy to show my lot.
So here's the house. This is Lot 8. So it is adjacent.
Yeah, this shows the house on the lot. This is my house, the backyard is right here, okay? And I was gonna have an 8-lot subdivision, where this would be one big lot, and I was gonna sell it where you could subdivide it in the future, either with a hammerhead or with an A&R lot. However, because of the cluster regulations, you have to subdivide it right away. This can no longer be cut up any
So you
further.
wanna get 8 lots, or only?
Well, I want to release lot 8 and 9 so I could sell it as a package. And you'll still have 7 lots covering the covenant for the road. There's
So
9 total
What's the
lots.
bond amount, what's the covenant?
There is no bond amount.
It's just-
Right now, we're holding all of the lots under covenant because he has not done any construction, hasn't requested to place any surety outside of the covenant. So releasing these 2 lots would leave the town holding 7.
Out of the 9.
What's your opinion?
Historically, releasing lots with houses on them is no issue. I mean, the house exists,
The house with the lot.
there's a couple of minor concerns. The road doesn't exist, so releasing that lot, you create a lot that doesn't technically have frontage. My understanding is Paul's planning to begin construction this spring. If he's selling it, he's not really, I don't think, looking to sell it without frontage. I mean, who really wants to buy a lot that you don't have access to, or you have to access over somebody else's property?
Can't sell it. You couldn't pass title.
Yeah, well, but
Not on a,
the additional lot, I understand why the desire to have it released in conjunction with the house is there. And I believe Paul's reasoning for it. I think that it sets a potential precedent. It is a separate lot. It could be deeded and conveyed separately. I don't know that necessarily harms the town's position, but historically the town has been reluctant to release original lots without some road work being done. So I'm
Can you release them separately?
yes.
Okay.
And if
I'd be willing to have no problem releasing lot 9 with the house on it.
and I don't have a particular problem with lot 8 in this instance, my concern is precedent and future development. And if we do it now for Mr. Jem, do we have to do it for someone in the future? Is there an argument that we've done it once, we need to continue to do it? I don't know that there is, but that would be my one caution.
Do they both have to be released at the same time, Paul?
I want to sell it as a house with a buildable lot with it.
Or you want to sell a house
But I can't,
and-
like I told you, I couldn't further subdivide the land, and that's
Later
what
on.
I wanted my backyard. Technically, I would have liked to have a dotted line there or no line there, and it would have been able to be subdivided in the future, and the added value is there. I understand setting a precedent, but everything is on a case-by-case basis. This is a situation whereby no one could pull a building permit on that lot anyway. There's no road, so.
Yes.
And you can't close on it, you can pass title on it, you could sell it off separately, but no one can build on it. There's no access. The only access is to my house at this point. But if I'm to sell my house, I want to sell it as a package. with that
And,
additional-
even if they weren't released, you could market them as a package, you can sign a PNS, you
Yeah.
can come to the point of agreement on
You just can't build on
on
it.
terms.
Yep.
You can't convey it. You can't convey individual lots in the subdivision per covenant. You either have to convey the entire thing or have a lot release.
Right, this is why I'm asking for the
Co-
lot.
Correct,
release,
and
so
but what I'm saying is, you could start marketing it.
Right, those 2 lots will go into my wife and I's name, versus the rest of it will be Whitetail Run entity. And you'll still have 7 lots protecting the covenant.
Covenant was for how many lot subdivision?
9.
9.
lot.
Jonathan, what do you think?
I don't particularly have a problem with it. I was more trying to figure out the motivation of it, but I don't really have a problem with it.
Now, you're putting the property up for sale now, immediately?
Well, we'll see how, yeah, I'd like to this spring, like to get started on the road.
Okay, so,
I'm gathering bids at this point, as
Alright.
astronomical as they are.
Is there a reason for selling now, or do you feel you need to sell the house in order to complete the road work?
I'm thinking it's gonna take me 2 years to sell my house.
Okay.
If I start now, there'll be a road up and running. You never know, the last house I built, it took me 2 years to sell it. And the market did this halfway through, back in the early 90s.
You'd be more comfortable in a month, at which time some progress might be seen, but again, I don't have a particular issue with it.
Mr. Brooks?
You don't,
I don't have a particular issue with this instance as it exists.
Just don't want to set a precedent.
And again, I'm not even sure that anybody else is going to come forward and ask for the same thing in the future or something similar.
Well, I have no problem with it.
well, based on Adam's,
Recommendation, okay.
Sure. Make
Make a
a motion
motion.
to release the lot
8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Okay, made and seconded.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much. Quick question. When did you start doing a Pledge of Allegiance before meetings?
When I came,
Nice touch. Thank you very much.
I'm a veteran.
I'll talk with you, same here. I will talk with you later.
Well, it's going to be end of the month before it's ready, because I've got to do it, they've got to sign it, so after the next meeting, which is the 25th.
Okay.
So 26 or so, you should be able to pick it up.
Very good.
Minutes,
Thank you all.
minutes next. Jonathan? Do you have any changes or additions or?
Make a motion to approve the
Well,
minutes.
I have an addition.
Okay.
Can I vote on this, Adam?
You weren't here.
No, I can't.
So we can't.
So we can't do the minutes.
Okay.
Just read it that way, just so you know.
Okay.
You can email Stacy directly with
Yeah.
what your correction
Yeah.
is.
I will. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is the hearing for Diane Lavin requesting a special permit under section 5.3.2 Hammerhead Lots of the Auburn zoning bylaws for property located at 13 Bancroft Street, Auburn, Mass., map 26, parcel 10. And who represents you, and let's take a peek at your stuff.
Mike Yerka from Civil Site Engineering, Uxbridge, Mass., and we represent Ms. Lavin. And this is, I think, the setup, I don't know which is the best that everybody can see. How's that for an angle? Somewhat.
Can you see it, Paul?
I have one in front of me, so. long as the audience can see it and understand it, it's fine, we have it in
A
front
few
of
of them
us.
here if the audience would like some.
Got some, we do have some handouts for the audience if they would like them.
Another one?
It's a property located on the easterly side of Bancroft Street, and it comprises about approximately 3.5 acres. And with 100 feet of frontage, Ms. Lavin is proposing to divide that lot under the town's hammerhead lot requirement, which divides the piece, creating 2 lots, which one is about 2¼ acres, and the lot being created is about a little under 1¼ acres. And the lot serviced by municipal water and sewer will be available for the new lot. It's already connected to the existing farmhouse. And basically, we're going to create a new driveway to service the proposed new house. And the existing driveway, we're going to eliminate the pavement, seeing it's an entrance as a Y. We're going to eliminate that, plant grass there. This plan conforms to the setbacks and the requirements of the hammerhead lot section of the bylaws. And we've created the 100-foot diameter circles, as you can see. It sits within each lot, is one of the requirements. And we did some topographic mapping. Some of it was on the ground, done by instrument on the ground, and a bit more was done by GIS. As you can see, it's fairly reasonable. There's not really any steep entrances. We have a couple of areas of a bit of ledge, but that's doable to get by it with the driveways. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's conforms pretty much to your regulations. So if the board has any questions, or the audience, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
You know that there's no further subdivision.
Correct, and only single-family homes can be built on it. Correct.
Well, there's plenty big enough. No,
To wait
Yeah.
see if Amy's willing
yeah, well, we can,
to review
public,
it.
any public comments? Yeah,
I
Paul?
have a question.
Sure.
Because not literally, but figuratively.
State your name, please, Paul, where you live.
My name is Paul Nordberg. I live at 3 Overhill Drive, which is Diane's front yard. Okay. I just have a question, because it's halfway, this lot's halfway surrounded by property that was subdivided out of the farm, what is the Tuck Farm?
Yeah.
Our houses all have a minimum size. Would there be, is there any way we could be assured that the house would be something resembling colonial and of a certain size? That would look like, that would look like it belongs to the neighborhood, is what I'm saying.
Only by,
If she's willing to
She's
agree
willing
to it,
do it, yeah.
if she agrees to it, the board could add it as a condition. Generally, that's not something that the board would condition in a permit like this.
and we would assume that in order to sell it in that neighborhood with that lot size and that, you'd be building something that would be commensurate with the other houses.
I mean, not knowing anything about real estate, I'm assuming that it ends up being an expensive lot without knowing, and therefore to buy an expensive lot and build a starter ranch would be eccentric, but I don't know. You know, and again, I'm assuming it will be an expensive lot, and I'm sure you're hoping it will be an expensive lot.
A very expensive one.
That would be nice. I mean, seven years ago, I was approached by a developer, you know, like in town. And what his intention at that
Please,
time.
once again, please announce your name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Diane Lavin. I'm the owner of the
Lot, yeah.
parcel of land. What he wanted to do was to build a subdivision. So he was going to blow out the driveway, make it an actual road, develop a cul-de-sac, and then he was gonna put at least four homes around it. I didn't like that plan. That completely changes the whole complexion of the neighborhood. I had the house on the market last year, and a different developer, a young man, approached and made an offer on the house. And what his intention was going to do a subdivision, but this time he wanted to put in townhomes, and he was going to do at least 4 townhomes. So I kind of thought, I didn't like that idea, at all, because, hey Mike, because again, that changes the entire complexion of the property and really impacts the neighborhood. It would be really noisy. It would be horrible, construction for a long time in my estimation. So to me, what would keep the integrity of the antique home, and again, I bought the property 25 years ago. There was like 30 antique homes in Auburn at the time. Before I even put the house on the market, I went to talk to the Historical Society, and they told me there's like 15 homes left, which means to me, they're leveling the homes because it's easier, and especially with that amount of land. So, that's why I wanted to go with this presentation, because it's the least invasive for all the remaining, abutters, my neighbors. So I'm hoping that, I get the seal of approval, just so everything will be protected. So then I can't have a developer coming in, and saying, well, I want to, trash that house, and then I'm gonna put another house here, another house here, another house here, move this back. So the lot as it is, there's like at least 4 homes or townhomes, and that just doesn't sit well with me. The single-family home structure,
Is what you're looking for.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. So it would appear that you're concerned about your neighbors.
very much so, yeah.
Yeah. That's very nice of you.
You're violent neighbors.
Well,
So if I have any black eyes later on, I'll admit it.
well, any other? Yes, please. Name, please, and we.
Oh, I'm Judy Rosansky, One Race Road.
Okay, yeah.
And when Mike,
The engineer.
the engineer, when the engineer spoke, he mentioned 2 other lots behind it. He mentioned 2 other lots. I mean, if this happens, there's more land behind the house.
No.
No?
That's it,
No,
that takes
no.
care of, that takes care of all the
Smaller
land.
land.
That's all of the land.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
There's an alternative that can show a subdivision with a cul-de-sac with 4 like duplex lots.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were.
This here, this takes care of all the land she owns, and it would be single-family homes, that's all you'd be allowed to put over here.
Single family.
Single family, yeah, not duplex.
One home.
There's gonna be one home.
Homes,
One.
homes.
One home,
Right, the existing house is gonna remain, I take it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you're selling the lot off, and somebody who buys the lot's going to build a house on there.
yes, a single family.
A single-family home that's going to be compatible with the rest of the homes in the neighborhood, because that is a very nice area up there.
Yeah, well, that's what I would like.
Yeah,
That makes that makes the most amount of sense to me.
I mean,
Well,
covenant
unless you condition it on there,
on, yeah,
it's just arbitrary to whoever buys it
Yeah.
can build whatever they
Well,
want.
I mean,
Within
she also has
regulations.
control of the deed at
Right,
that point,
right.
and the real estate transaction is private business between
them.
two individuals that this board wouldn't generally wade into.
Like in my neighborhood, the square footage of the house is a requirement of the deed. Number of garages on the lot are, once again, a requirement of building in that neighborhood. And you could put those kinds of things into the property when you go to sell it.
Okay,
If that, you know, if that, I mean, that's
The
probably,
deed restriction.
put
Something.
deed restrictions, right.
I would consult your attorney about that.
Yeah,
okay,
but that, you know, that, you can write that into the deeds,
okay,
or the deed.
You know, think of what you'd wanna do, and then present it to the Realtor at the time and tell them this is what whoever
What has
buys
to
it
be
is
done,
gonna
yeah.
be subject to this when they sign.
okay.
Yeah, like no businesses run out of the place, like in my neighborhood,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't run a business out of your home, although people do. I don't know how you enforce it. But, anyone else in the audience have anything to say? Well, I would say that what we're gonna have to do is postpone it until we have 4 members.
Continue it.
Continue
Continue.
it, rather, yeah, until we have 4 members. Can we continue it to our next meeting?
You can?
Was yeah, put it on the, next meeting is going to be
25.
25, the 25th of the month. Does that sound amenable to you?
Yes, it does.
All right. There's nobody else in the audience that has anything else? No concerns? I mean, you can see that she's working with you people, selling it as a single family home, and it would appear that she wants to put covenants in it so that,
Do.
I mean, you can go on to Paul's land if you want, I don't care about that.
I mean, I think, speaking for the neighbors, it should be conditioned, she can only sell the lot, she can't move out of the neighborhood.
I vote for that too.
Okay, well, why don't we come back on the 25th then, and,
Is there a motion?
yeah, we need a
I'll make
motion.
that motion.
Okay.
We continue it to the
25th.
25th of February.
And what time?
7 p.m.
7 PM, that's right off the bat. We'll do it 7 on the 25th, okay?
Okay,
Motion is a second.
There's a motion, there's a second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, now we can,
Thanks for your time.
okay, yep.
Aaron, before you go. That's right. Exactly why. How you doing? The same reason Mary, she said, Aaron, before you go. Frank, if you would request Frank.
It's a female dominated world.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, it's like- So,
Do you have any additional business?
Well, we got the minutes, but I'll talk to her about the minutes.
Yeah, you-
We'll bring them back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then that's fine.
No. We have electrical.
I would entertain a motion.
Yeah, after they.
Motion to adjourn? Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye, aye, aye.
After the decision.